for February 17th. Oh, man. It's the Serenno Squadcast, the official podcast of the Serenno Squad. Woo! It's Thursday, all right?
Yeah.
It is Thursday.
One take.
Today's Thursday. When you watch this, it may not be Thursday. There's a 1 in 7 chance.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of the Squadcast. I am here with the rest of the squad. We have Paul.
That's me.
We have Wayne.
Mr. Angria.
And we have Evan. All right. That was great.
Audio podcast.
Yeah.
We're not here with the rest of the squad. We're here with part of it.
Yeah. It just comes out. We're the Squadcast. The Squadcast is here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We wish the squad was here.
Bigger than 4 people. So.
If we could have the whole squad on here, we would. What if we did that? What if
we should do that like in a troop or something? Like if we have a troop, we should all do like a 15-minute like squad cast where we're all like suiting up or something.
That would be a nightmare of editing and people talking over each other. And...
It's true.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, but maybe. I mean, we're gonna
like a panel at a con. We could have like a squad cast panel with the whole Serenno squad, like a big lick, get up on the stage.
Yeah, we probably could have done that if we had reached out and tried to do any of that, but everybody was kind of busy.
Well, there's like 12 big lick cons every year, so
yeah.
Go to the one in Nova now.
Yeah, God bless them. All right, so we do have a little Legion news for this week. So.
Oh yeah, we're gonna bring them in.
Legion news.
Here comes the Legion news. Here comes the Legion news.
Yay!
Did we steal that from Harry Potter? It sounds like the music from Harry Potter 4.
It is,
the Tri-Wizard Tournament.
No, I don't think it's not that.
Yeah, I don't know.
My boy!
Yeah, the most dramatic of all Harry Potters.
By the way, that was the first time I ever cried in a movie. So during that scene, no less. I was like, when did that movie come out? Like 2004. I was like 14. So give me a break.
2005, something like that.
When Edward from Twilight dies, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. And apparently, I saw, totally non-Star Wars related tangent. I saw somewhere online that he held his wand in that movie. Like he thought that like wand spellcasting was super lame, so he held it like a gun, where he like held it with 2 hands.
That makes it way cooler.
He does hold it with 2 hands in like one scene. Yeah.
Oh,
Man, you gotta hold that thing steady. It's a lot of power. That has nothing to do with anything that we were talking about today. Don't even know how we got there. But
20 seconds in and we're derailed.
Legion news, we've had some elections here, and I think how many changes did we actually have as far as
locally we had one.
Hannah. I'm sorry.
I didn't vote for Hannah.
Yeah, sorry. Louise. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Either.
Now you're just saying
keep going.
Are we just saying names? Heather.
Guys, yeah, everyone pitch in.
Our former squad leader, and I think did they take effect next week? I
21st.
Exactly. Yeah, it's next week.
Which is Monday. Yeah.
Yeah. At that point, Eric will no longer be our squad leader. It will become Chris.
Well, Eric, you did a good job.
Yes.
Chris?
Eric chose not to run again, so Chris ran unopposed.
So we didn't vote for him, so
I didn't vote for you.
We are no longer in a democracy. We are in the dictatorship of the Serenno Squad.
Wow. And Chris?
Which, considering we're the Empire, it is kind of appropriate.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Chris really was shooting for it last year too, I think, but it just didn't really it wasn't going to be a good year for him. I mean, he just had a baby, and
he still has that baby. Rumor has it.
Yes, but he had just had it. Okay, that's a big difference. Trust me. I have a baby, as you can hear, obviously, and it's a lot
Yours seems to be
easier.
a bit more of a high mileage baby. I can hear it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta change those belts.
Or swap out for a newer one.
Yeah. We'll get around to it.
I think most of the squads stayed the same. Whoever ran for all the squads, they all ran unopposed.
Yep, and Danny ran unopposed for Garrison CO as well. So not a lot of change.
Nobody else wanted that job. Want to suck the fun out of your hobby even more? Get in charge.
Did someone nominate me for that? Because I know I declined. I had Wayne nominate me for the stormtrooper detachment, and I was like, no. And then I feel like maybe someone nominated me for Garrison CO as well, and I was like,
that sounds like something John would have done.
Yeah, I think John may have.
Yeah, well, congratulations to Chris and Eric. Good job, buddy.
And our
And
new
Legion commanding officer is
Justin Sonfield.
Congratulations.
I don't know him, but he seems cool.
That's good.
His name is vaguely familiar, so I don't know. Just you see names online. It's just like, oh, that's that person. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's been around since like 2017. I think he's fairly active, like Legion wide. Like I think he posts a lot on the Legion forums.
Very cool.
He's now responsible for all 15,000 of us nerds.
15,000. Jeez. Wow.
Yeah, we're hovering somewhere around there.
Oh my goodness. It's a real
worldwide.
Yeah, a real army.
Yep.
Doing good stuff, not bad stuff. We are doing plotting.
And I don't know if we talked about this, but there was also a vote recently, a whole membership vote to expand the charter to include, to broaden the language of types of costumes that are allowable in the Legion. From, I think specifically it said, like the 501st allows villainous characters, and now it's like villainous, non-aligned or non-partisan, and ambiguous or something like that. So it basically covers like a lot of the characters who are sort of in that gray area from a lot of the new shows, because a lot of the newer Star Wars is not as black and white as old school Star Wars was.
Yeah. So we're not the bad guys doing good anymore. We're the morally ambiguous guys doing
We're the morally ambiguous guys doing whatever.
Doing questionably positive things.
That works.
So we're the anti-heroes.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. So expanding the language to include, like, because if you look at like Mando and Boba Fett, it's like in one scene they're fighting the Empire, but in the other scene they're fighting like bounty hunters and other non-aligned bad guys. So it's like they're not really good guys, but they're not really bad guys either. They kind of don't fit into one clear-cut definition.
Yep.
So
is that going
to first? We're protagonists doing things.
Is this for newer, or are they going to take other costumes from other categories and put them in here? Or is it just going to be the newer ones that pop out from here on?
Not all of them.
Somebody wants a costume to be eligible for 501st.
Yeah, so
on my screen I'm pointing at Evan, but I don't know.
So here's my whole thing.
On mine you're pointing at no one.
So my
you got it.
Plumed Senate Guard, in my opinion, is well covered as a costume under the new language. But we got a lot of old guard in there who don't really care that we had a vote to change this, and so they said, I don't care about the vote. We're not going to allow new costumes. So, in my opinion, that's a dangerous precedent to set, because why have a vote when anyone can just say, well, I'm just going to not approve your costume. Doesn't matter.
I can see your argument, but I can also see the counters to it. if any character fell into kind of a how many pages of BS did you write for your final essay kind of thing. Yeah, we only see them in episode 1. We only see them representing the Republic. So
Yeah, by the time we see them again in episode 3, when everything's changed, they're different than yours.
Oh yeah.
yeah, 2 and 3 they have the full faceplate and they've lost the plumage.
But technically, in episode 2, when they're in there, you don't see them being bad guys. You only see them being, whatever.
Yeah. If your guard was in 1 and 2, you'd have a much stronger position to argue on.
They are actually.
Are they?
At the very beginning of the movie, when when that bomb explodes on the landing pad and kills the whatever her name is, Corinne or whatever, the
Corday.
body double.
Double.
Corday. I believe in that shot there are Senate guards, like the plumed Senate guards. Yeah, so if you look on the Rebel Legion CRL actually specifies that the plumed Senate guard is episode 1 and 2.
Okay, so they're still good guys.
Not good guys or bad guys till the 3rd movie, right?
Right.
The argument is all those people who serve the Republic, especially the ones under Palpatine, eventually got corrupted and became the bad guys that became the Empire.
Yeah, like the clones. And you also have
Clones
Saw Gerrera's partisans are also 501st. And they fought against the Empire.
They also did fight against the Rebels.
Yeah. Morally ambiguous.
Yeah, they're more of that morally ambiguous, They Saw Gerrera's group definitely put the terrorist name into rebel terrorist.
They put the T in terrorist.
Yeah. More on them in Battlefront 2.
Oh boy.
If you read the Battlefront 2 Inferno Squad book, it centers all around Saw Gerrera's group. The partisan.
I always thought the one with the scout helmet was cool. I wanted to see a costume for that, but we never did. There's one with the black scout helmet.
Yeah. You see, she's outside the base, and then you see her once again inside the base.
Yeah.
Because remember when the first trailers for Rebels came out, and we saw that helmet, everybody's like, "Is that Ezra?" Because Ezra had a repainted scout helmet.
I remember that.
Anyway.
Anyways, I think that's about it though.
Legion elections. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. Next week we'll have more Legion news.
Yeah,
yes,
we're going to talk about our Big Lick Comic-Con appearance, spoiler alert, and a bunch of new approvals.
Yeah, since elections are over now, we've got a bunch of approvals.
Yep. We just have no access to them at the moment because I forgot my password, but we will. Next week will be full of approvals. And it's funny. The last time that we recorded, I think someone heard us because Paul, you said that because of elections, we wouldn't have any approvals anytime soon. And it turned out that there was a truck just dumped them all on Instagram, ton of them. So they might have heard us. Who knows? All right. Well, moving on to our next segment.
Top story.
Excuse me, that's the wrong franchise.
I think I don't care.
Yeah. Top story. We are continuing with the Boba Fett season. Yeah, Boba Fett season.
We're talking Mando season 3, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Mandalorian season 3, episode 1 and 2.
Season 2.5.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
I've got a few things to say about these episodes.
I'm not surprised because we had a conversation saying that we were why would they do the whole flashback thing? And did we think they could do without it having just the whole Tusken Raiders stuff at the first few episodes and then having the becoming the Daimyo of Mos Eisley or whatever being the last part of it. And I thought that it was because it would be too freaking boring. And then in the middle of it, they decided to put 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. It's pretty obvious they thought it was going to be boring and they did not want it to like fail, or they were looking for an excuse not to make another season of The Mandalorian.
There is another season of The Mandalorian coming.
Hey, when did you hear that? When did we hear this?
When Carl Weathers said, "I'm directing an episode in Mandalorian season 3."
He didn't direct any of these episodes either.
No,
it was no, he's not.
Episode
I guess
5 was Bryce Dallas Howard. Episode 6 was Dave Filoni. Episode 7 was Robert Rodriguez. I was going to say something. I just forgot what I was going to say.
Well, there's a season 3 for Mandalorian. You said that Carl Weathers is going to.
Oh yes,
write it.
I think there's a disconnect between the people making the show, people advertising the show, and the people watching the show.
Yes.
No kidding.
I think the people making the show have this very particular idea of that, like Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett and probably Ahsoka and probably whatever other shows that are all taking place at the same time frame. I think they're viewing them as like, this is one large overarching story.
Yeah.
Talking about this specific group of characters, this specific kind of underworld, early New Republic, fall of the Empire, setting the stage for what eventually becomes a sequel trilogy. I think they're kind of viewing this all as one kind of cohesive story.
Wow.
That's why, but the people who marketed the show said, no, this is the Boba Fett show. And everybody got upset when there was 2 episodes and Boba Fett was not in it.
Yeah.
And then the people watching the show were like, I signed up for a Boba Fett show. Where's my Boba Fett in my Boba Fett show?
Oh my goodness. I'm glad I didn't see any of that. But I'm sure that's probably what's going on. But I mean, Mandalorian is what kind of brought Boba Fett back. So I feel like they're like they kind of interweave back and forth. So it didn't surprise me at all. I thought it was great, but I don't know. What do you think, Wayne? You look like you're having a hard time there.
Looking at screens all day, looking at more. It's messing with my eyes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if we're thinking about Boba Fett, like the Book of Boba Fett, you could almost think of all of these, the new, like the Disney Plus canon of shows, almost could be considered kind of like one big giant book, and each show is like maybe a different set of chapters. And like if you read like Game of Thrones is set up where it's like this chapter is this character talking, but it's like not necessarily, doesn't have to be necessarily about that character, it's just named after them and it's from their point of view. But it could be about, like, you know, a Sansa chapter could be actually mostly about Brienne and Jaime or something. So I think it's I think they're doing a lot of kind of unconventional things, and sort of like there's a lot of overarching Venn diagrams of shows, even more so than like the DC universe, like Arrow and the Flash and all of those shows. I think there's even more overlap with the Disney Plus Star Wars shows than there was even with those shows.
Yeah, it's a very comic book way of story. If you look at this as a comic book, this is like issue 5 would be all about Mando, and be like, okay, yeah, whatever. Issue 6, and then it happens in long form comic book storytelling too. So that's why I think the people making the shows don't view this as separate from the Mandalorian. Like, we as fans are looking at it as these are 2 separate things. There's Mandalorian and there's Book of Boba Fett. I think they're looking at it as one larger thing.
Yep.
I think you're right. I haven't really heard it.
That's the way I always took it, is that it's just Star Wars. And it's not just all about Boba Fett. It's not all about the Mandalorian. It's never going to be all about that.
Right.
Star Wars is a big universe with 88 characters, and we got to see all those 88 characters. I don't
we
want to
did
just see
quite a
one.
few of those 88
Yeah.
characters.
We saw them all.
And plus, Boba Fett, he's from the original trilogy. I mean, it's not like he's new. It's
Yeah.
He's not a new character that they just invented for us in 2022.
There's so
He's
many people butthurt about his character, and I'm like, do you just want to watch him standing around doing nothing for 7 episodes? I mean, he's gonna have to have character development. He's gonna have to do things. Sometimes he'll do not things because he's a character, and he's not just he's not a caricature. He's a character.
Yeah. I really like
said.
Boba Fett's story arc. Like
Yes.
what the character development that happened to Boba Fett, like crawling out of the Sarlacc pit, the Tuskens, like having this whole like change of mindset and being like, I'm tired of working for idiots who are going to get me killed. You know, I really like that story arc. I have a lot of issues with this show, but I really liked what they did with Boba Fett. Like just Boba Fett by himself, like, yes, you made this character I didn't like at all become like one of my favorite characters. Yes, Wayne.
Time out.
What problems?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Paul, please elaborate.
Yeah,
right.
Give us some examples of this show you're talking about.
All right, so looking at episode 5, I really like. Okay, if you look at each individual episode separate, specifically 5, 6, and 7, because we already talked about 1 through 4. Like episode 5, I really, really enjoyed episode 5. I mostly enjoyed episode 6. Weird plastic CGI faced Luke was a little off-putting, and we really need to hire a proper actor instead of CGIing.
I thought he looked way better than he did.
Yes, I thought it was
Mandalorian.
incredible, personally.
Yes, he looked way better than he did in Mandalorian season 2.
And I love the way that they got around him talking. Was they would just pan away from him when he talked. So that
they like showed him like standing up and talking. Yeah, that was pretty clever. They did do that really well.
If they're going to keep having Luke, please hire an actual actor. I don't want to watch pixels become a character. I want an actual actor.
You don't want a video game character?
Yeah. Like episode 5, really, really enjoyed it. There's a lot to enjoy there. Episode 6, there's a lot to enjoy there. I got to see Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano in the same freaking shot. That is something I have wanted to see since 2012 or 2008 when we realized that she had a thing with Anakin Skywalker. A thing meaning Padawan Master, not a thing.
Yeah, watch it.
Well, Paul's been spending too much time on Reddit.
Like episode 7 had a ton of great action. We got to see freaking Cad Bane in live action. That was so cool.
That was so cool. I love Cad Bane.
We got to watch a Rancor.
It was the best.
Pound on 2 giant battle droids. We had to watch him pull a King Kong Godzilla tearing apart the city. I mean,
yeah, climb the tower.
So much
we got to see giant battle droids.
Yes, we got to see these cool, like, unused designs from the prequels come back, and we got to see a Naboo fighter again.
Oh my gosh.
Hot-rodded version.
Yes.
The N1. That was by far my favorite part.
In the racetrack.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. What's Beggar's Canyon?
And no one's fixed that barrier. And 50, how many years?
It's
like
still there.
It is 40 years, something like that. But it's like, okay, so problem-wise, episode 5 and 6 should have been one episode. Looking at the overall story, I didn't need 20 minutes of him rebuilding a ship.
I did.
In just that single standalone episode, it was really enjoyable. But if you look at all 7 episodes as a whole, that is a lot of wasted time of him just doing nothing. That could have been 2 minutes. Episode 6. Okay, I'm going to say something very controversial here, and you guys are all going to disagree with me.
Here we go.
Grogu should not have been in episode 7. Grogu should not have come back in this series, in this episode.
Wait, why? Why?
I could agree with that.
Why not now?
It would have been nice to not see him, like, to have that as sort of like a will he, won't he, until we get to Mando season 3.
Right, because
imagine Mando season 3 opens with Mando going to the planet to present his gift, or that kind of reunion happening, and then they take off on their whatever their new adventure is going to be.
I thought it was. I'm sorry. I thought Baby Grogu was gonna, he was given the choice to choose. First of all, Luke, you're a jerk for doing that, making poor little Grogu choose between.
Questionable. I have issues with some of what Luke was doing there too, but I can write it off as he's still learning.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's absolutely right in doing it. If Grogu has that much of an attachment to him, he runs the bigger risk to fall to the dark side, just like Anakin did. So he would much rather know now before putting a lot of time into it and showing him more ways to hurt people.
Yeah, no, you're right. He had to do it. And
But-
it's like a dad having to like whip his child because he does it out of love,
But-
It's because
Only-
Dave Filoni
only a-
watched Lone Wolf
only
and
a
Cub, and it's like,
Sith-
hey, there's a really cool scene in there, movie.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Which is an absolute statement.
Bum bum
Shut up.
bum. Bunch of Sith lords. What is
I have
this?
some issues with Luke's training methods. The Order 66 scene was really, really cool from like a lore standpoint. But at the same time, if you kind of take a step back and look at it, that's Luke forcing Grogu to relive was probably his most traumatic memory.
But he didn't know that that's what was going to happen. He thought he was going to remember home. He didn't know he was at the Jedi Temple.
I think Luke can put two and two together.
Wait, but no. But look, how also Luke was acting like Grogu had no idea who Yoda was. But wouldn't he have actually known? Because he was like, "This is my master. He looked like you and talked in riddles." Well, he already probably knows that. He was there at the Jedi Temple when Yoda was there.
Yeah.
So maybe
like,
I think Wayne, you're right.
I
He
knew him.
probably
He raised
didn't
me.
know. Yeah. But Wayne, I think you're right. I don't think Luke knew, and I don't think
he says, "Do you remember home?" And he's thinking that he's going to remember his mom and the planet where he came from, things like that.
He was
Then
trying
he
to
opens up the Jedi Temple, and that's when he sees him. He's like, "Ah, crap! I didn't mean to do that."
Yeah. Luke was hoping he was going to see the planet where all the Yodas come from.
Yeah,
I figured.
I think Luke forgot just how old Grogu is.
So I have some issues with Luke's training methods of like, number one, okay, why has nobody given Grogu proper clothes? Why is he still walking around in a burlap sack?
I was thinking about that when he was doing his training with the remote, or what is it called?
Just a training remote.
The training droid. Yeah, and I said something about that, but then Hannah said, like, isn't that what Yoda wore though? And I was like,
no.
Well,
No.
I mean, he didn't
a
wear
little bit more like actual clothes Yoda wore.
Right, but they were basically like a burlap sack.
I think it's a burlap sack that fit him.
Yeah, but he was an adult Yoda species. Grogu is a baby. It's like Teddy Roosevelt. If you see pictures of him as a baby, he's wearing a dress.
Yaddle wasn't wearing that. Anything close to that.
Wait, who wasn't?
Yaddle. She was wearing regular Jedi clothes.
But Yaddle was an adult too. She was she was like a 900-year-old, right?
You're saying, well, Yoda's an adult and he was wearing a burlap sack. Well, Yaddle was an adult and she wasn't.
I'm talking about how his is like one little like dress, like a skirt thing. That's Grogu's, or it's like a.
You're not getting this shirt. I don't think you should, little frog man. I think you should wear this sack.
I think it has something to do with their unknown Yoda planet.
I can't wear that.
The garb.
The nipples. I can only wear burlap.
I don't know. Just episode 6 really. It bothers me because it's like it's a Boba Fett show, and Boba Fett's in it for 2 seconds and has no lines, which is typical for Boba Fett. But,
yeah. Do you think maybe they thought of that? Maybe that was.
He wasn't in that at all, was he? He wasn't.
He's at the very end of episode 6. There's another PowerPoint presentation about layout of Mos Espa.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna roll one.
But he's not in 5 at all. It's like 5 and 6 could have been one episode.
Yes.
Like
if they had cut out the hot rod thing.
There's no reason that we needed 10 minutes of them building a starship and then 10 minutes of Jedi training. It was longer than 10 minutes.
Yeah. But I'm glad I got it though. I'm not complaining.
You're talking about the N1 building, right?
Yeah.
Not the montage where he's like working out, and I was waiting for it. I said, all right, let's see a flip or two. Let's see. Oh, there he goes. Luke did a flip. There we go. Were you guys expecting it when you saw the montage?
Yeah.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, it's like,
give me a flip.
As a standalone, just like piece of Star Wars, there's a lot that I love in Episode 6. Like there's more that I love than I have issues with. And it's like they're giving me like all these things that I've wanted to see for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I've wanted to see live action Clone Troopers again. I want to see I mean, some people are complaining about having to see Order 66 again, but it's like, you know, there are unanswered questions, and they're starting to fill in gaps. We see Luke building the temple that ultimately is going to burn down when Kylo Ren rises, and it's just like it's connecting dots. And I'm like, yes, this is so cool. It's connecting dots. This makes me happy. Why is this in this show?
Yeah, why not save it for its own thing, I guess. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think
you can make like a 4-episode thing and just be like, this is what Luke was up to. Here's the episode where he was training Grogu. Oh, look, it's Mando. He's going to walk across the screen. And
it probably would have been too slow. That's probably what they were thinking. They're like, we got to spice it up. We got to throw the Mandalorian in there.
They tease me with the one thing that I want, which is I want Ahsoka and Luke, and preferably Leia, to talk and be like, I knew your father. This is the good man that I knew. That is the scene that I've wanted. That scene has already happened. And we didn't get to see it, and I'm annoyed. Because Luke and Ahsoka are standing there talking, and she says, I forget exactly, she says something like, it reminds me of your father.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't say a word. It's like, okay, they've already had the Anakin conversation. I want to see the Anakin conversation.
Right.
Maybe we'll see it in flashbacks in Ahsoka.
Yeah, we probably will. Or it'll be in a book. It'd probably be better in a book, but still.
Yeah.
And Episode 7, I liked all the action. I liked almost everything that we got. The mods are cool. The spin was cool. Shut up about the spin. If you don't like the spin, you don't like Star Wars.
Wait, the spin. What was the spin?
Everyone online is annoyed. Well, everyone, like 3 people. And it's become
Oh, you're talking about the killing of Cad Bane.
No. One of the mod dudes, the one who has the thing on his eye, we didn't get names for any of them. During the battle, they're running away, and he does like this spin move and shoots like a couple pikes. It is pure Star Wars. It is pure Robert Rodriguez. If you don't like this, you're watching the wrong show.
So people thought it was cheesy.
Yes.
Gotcha. I thought you were referring to Episode 7 when I thought it was really weird. I didn't know what was going on. I'll be honest with you. I felt like I was on drugs when I was watching it because Boba's on his back. No, I was. No. Yeah, Boba was on his back. And then it's like this weird, like, and then all of a sudden, Cad Bane's on his back. It just
pulled the gaffy stick.
Yeah, but the way that it was filmed, it was like somebody thought it would. They were like, "This is going to look good," and then they got the footage they got and tried to put it together, and they were like, "Oh, it's not working." And they're like, "Just make it work." And that's if you go back and watch it, it's not as natural as the rest of it. It's almost like they slow the speed down, but then they speed it up, and it's choppy. It's so weird. I didn't know what had happened until he had a gaffy stick. I was like, "Oh, so he must have like." Picked up his gaffy sticks from somewhere, and I don't even know what happened still to this day. But I thought it was the weirdest shot of all of the shots, and that's the only thing that stood out to me as being like, what the heck is going on there with the film? Did anyone else?
When that happened, I remember like it almost felt like they were, because I noticed his gaffy stick for the first time in a while, and I was like, I think that's gonna come into play, and then he whips it out and beats down Cad Bane with it. So I didn't think it was weird. It seemed natural to me.
No, that's fine, but it seemed like the actual like editing of that that movement, trying to get him knocking him down and everything, it was so choppy and so weird. I don't know. I could be remembering it wrong, but
I don't pay that close attention.
yeah,
I'd have to watch the scene again to pay attention.
The editing and stuff really gets me sometimes, but everything else has been so perfect. And I agree with you. I really like that scene. I wasn't looking for more, but whenever Ahsoka mentioned Anakin, I was like, oh my God, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess they could have pushed it a little further.
And why didn't the Tuskens come back? And we had 4 episodes dealing with Boba's relationship with the Tuskens.
Do we really think they're all wiped out?
There should have been Tuskens in episode 7. That should have been part of the army that he built. Should have been Tuskens.
I was thinking. I was waiting for.
You're saying that we should not have seen Mandalorian, that we should have seen the Tuskens, but instead we did get the Mandalorian, and more than likely in another series we're gonna get those Tuskens. What do you think?
We'll get the Tuskens in Kenobi for sure.
Yeah,
but that won't be the same era, will it? Is this all the same era?
No. Well, Obi-Wan's been dead for 15 years at this point, so no.
Yeah, so this wouldn't really fall under the whole all of these new Disney Plus Star Wars movies. Things are going to be under the same timeline. The Obi-Wan's going to be before, but not as far back as obviously the prequels.
It's between the prequels and it's like 10 years after.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be.
What were we going to say, Wayne?
Yeah, he was part of a specific tribe. Just because they're sand people, they don't mean like they don't know each other. That's racist. What I'm saying is, he would have had a hard time getting others to show up because where they're I wouldn't say a warrior type people, they definitely defend themselves in their own, and he's not one of them. From what they know, he was only part of a specific tribe that didn't even dress like the rest of them that we've seen on Tatooine.
Yeah, I mean, his tribe was mostly wiped out, it seems. There might be some left. We didn't see bodies.
They were all wiped out. Okay,
so you're saying that basically that tribe died with Boba Fett's story, and they're gone. And that was
them, instead of shooting him like on the fly or whatever, he was the only one gone.
Yeah.
They were all there. They all killed him, and it wasn't that biker gang; it was the Pikes. So
yeah, they said.
I'm sure it was done right and fully.
Yeah.
That's true. I didn't think about that. That when the Pikes said that they're gone, they're probably gone.
I just think like in Mando season 2, we had an entire episode of the people of what is now Freetown working with the Tuskens and repairing that relationship.
Yes.
Then we had 4 episodes of Boba Fett dealing with him, getting to know the Tuskens, learning their culture, becoming a part of a tribe. It seems logical to me that people of Freetown are going to war. They know that the planet is in danger. They know the Pikes are coming, and the Pikes are going to ruin everything. Mando, Freetown, Boba Fett. It would have been really cool to see them going to a Tusken tribe and being like, this is the danger that is confronting us all. Here's where we've worked together. Here's where we've worked together. You know, I was accepted into the tribe.
He doesn't know them, and he doesn't know where to go. And as far as the people of Freetown, the deal was, you help us with this, you get to keep whatever. The deal from the Tuskens was, we help you, you don't mess with us anymore, and we don't mess with you. Their instructions are very clear. We're going to do this, and then you leave us the fuck alone.
I feel like in forget if it was episode 5 or episode 6. In one of the episodes, you see a sand crawler going by, and it's got that crate dragon skull on top of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I felt like that was saying something from these people is coming back, and it was never delivered upon. So I feel like there's pieces there that they never picked up, and instead we got other pieces that felt irrelevant
to this story.
It's the writing a better show.
Well,
writing
Paul,
a different show.
Get Paul on the
Oh God, no, it'd be terrible.
in the writing room.
I don't know. It felt like there were pieces laid out that they should have picked up, and instead they picked up other pieces, and it's like these pieces didn't fit as well as maybe other pieces.
Well, is that it, Paul? Or is that all the things that upset you, or not upset you, but you thought could have been done differently?
And Boba has forgotten every lesson that he learned from his father and from the Kaminoans. I was very annoyed that he didn't bring back any lessons he should have learned during the Clone Wars. Because tell me, what? You weren't watching those droids with the shield and being like, we know how to deal with droids with shields. You just very slowly push the explosive into the shield, and then they go boom from inside.
Yeah.
We've watched, there's an entire episode based on teaching people how to do this.
Yep.
And we didn't do
teaching insurgents on a very specific planet that he had nothing to do with. He was off learning how to be a bounty hunter.
It just feels like, again, it's like he was on Kamino. He's a clone. He got some kind of combat training. At some point, someone would be like, oh yeah, the separatist droids were training you to fight. Some of them have shields. Here's how you fight them.
He never got trained. He was an unaltered clone that was treated as Jango's true child. He didn't get treated like a clone.
I wonder.
I don't think he had the same combat training.
I wonder if he was ever a cadet.
No, he wasn't.
No.
Not even a cadet? Then yeah, probably not.
I think he was entirely trained by Jango, but still, yeah. I don't know. It just feels like he forgot the lessons he should have learned in the Clone Wars. Yeah. It was 25 years earlier, so it's possibly he could have forgotten.
There were also a couple moments where he could have used his jetpack and he didn't, but whatever.
But watching the two of them come down on jetpacks was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. And I do think it's hilarious. The final standoff between Boba Fett and Cad Bane, their discussion is entirely based on something no fan has ever seen.
Yep.
It's entirely based on a deleted episode of Clone Wars, an unfinished episode of Clone Wars.
Whoa.
Cad Bane and Boba Fett faced off, and that's how Boba Fett got the dent in his helmet.
Oh.
Yes. There's like a 3-minute unfinished animation story reel you can watch online.
And here's the question though. How come Boba Fett's helmet dents, but Mando's armor doesn't dent? It's all made out of Beskar, isn't it?
Pure Beskar. Pure, right?
Yeah, I think there's remember Mando's armor from the beginning of the first season, like how it got all messed up. I think there's different versions. Like what he wears later is pure. I think there's alloys.
That's what I think. Because don't they in one of the seasons of Mandalorian, they're like, it's pure Beskar. Or maybe I'm just imagining I do that.
Yeah.
Well,
that's my rant on the episode.
Yeah, those were. Now let's talk about some of the good things. I mean, we did talk about a few of the good things, but
I've been talking about the good things. You just been talking over me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tell us, Wayne.
Tell us. I ranted. Now it's your turn.
Well, no, I enjoyed it a lot. I liked getting an N1 starfighter, and I liked seeing the race track portions. I didn't feel like any of it wasted stuff because I do see it as an overarching Star Wars universe, not just Was there a Book of Boba Fett episode with no Boba Fett in it? Yep. Is that weird? Kinda. But also, and to your point, I read enough comics to know that happens. Lord knows I've watched enough shows on the CW to know that you can get a whole week's worth of shows with named after a character and never have that character in it. I'm looking at you, Black Lightning.
Flash was guilty of that quite a few times too.
Huh?
Flash was guilty of that quite a few times.
Oh, and Flash, absolutely.
I feel like if it had been called like The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, then be like, okay, this is a subsect of a larger thing that they're doing.
But you already got that.
Yeah,
you
I don't
got
think
that in the fact that he was in the Mandalorian, and that's where it started. That's where you got introduced to him. Now you're getting where he came from and how he got to that point, and now, what he's doing now at the exact same time. You already got the intro of the Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett, by them showing you that at the end of the Mandalorian is the extra scene.
But I mean, letting us know that like the Book of Boba Fett, if it was specifically laid out like clearly, like this is a piece of a larger whole story, and not just be like, hey, Star Wars is a whole thing, but being very clear that this is a piece of another story. It's going to have connected tissue to other things.
See, I kind of got that as a given in the fact that we got introduced to him in The Mandalorian. Because there's a whole episode dealing with just them. And then, 2 more episodes where they're in it? Fennec and Boba Fett.
Yeah, the last 2.
But I mean, Mando was still central to that story. You didn't have an episode of The Mandalorian without The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when they did drop these 2 episodes into this Boba Fett series, it was really about Mando and his connection with Grogu still. It wasn't really so much about what he was going to do to help Boba out, although he did end up, but it wasn't anything that he was going out to do. It was like he just needed a ship, and Fennec was like looking for muscle. And so now he's just hopping on the Book of Boba Fett story.
Or if so, we had the first 4 episodes which were Boba centric, flashback, forward, backwards, all that. If they had maybe dropped in a scene or something else, like if we'd gotten like Mando on the ring, if that had happened like in episode 3, just Boba. Hey, here's Mando. Here's what he's doing. He's doing a thing over on the ring. Back to Boba. Setting it up early so it's not such a jarring shift to be like, okay, this episode's cool. I like Mando's a cool character. I like what he's doing. I like the ring. I like him struggling with the Darksaber because it ties into what they talk about in Rebels.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The whole thing about, you're fighting yourself as well as you're fighting your enemy. And there's lots of cool stuff happening in that episode. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, where's Boba? I want Boba. I signed up for Boba.
You know what? Actually, I did not think that at all. And I'm just now remembering how I did feel. When I saw the first episode with Mandalorian come back, I realized like Mandalorian, Din Djarin, whatever, he is my favorite Star Wars character now. Absolutely. Like the first episode that he showed up with the N1 and how he basically got kicked out of the Mandalorian religion, but still before gets an armor made for Grogu, like all that stuff. Like I felt like Book of Boba was like kind of continuing Boba's story about a character that we've already known about for years and decades, but the Mandalorian, it was so fresh and so new, and it just made me love Mandalorian even more. So I still feel like that the only reason that they put those 2 episodes were in there is because they thought this season would be too boring. But also, like, I'm so glad they did it because it was fan service for me. I loved it. And now I want to make a helmet. I need a Mandalorian helmet. I'm going to print one out of
go get a bucket.
PTG PTG, not PLA.
It's present code.
I did think it's funny that we've traded places on this one.
Why?
Paul's the one having a problem with something. I'm the one like, I'm just happy to have Star Wars.
You're absolutely right. I think it's great though. It's good.
The individual pieces I love. Like episode 5 is a great episode of The Mandalorian. Because I mean,
yeah.
Like all the stuff on the ring, that scene of him in the elevator is he's just the random dudes just next to him, just like doing typical of it. That was great. And
and the kid on the ship. Oh, and then having to put the dark saber in like luggage. Oh my God, that gives you so much tension. You think he's gonna lose it. He's gonna lose it. And then he gets there and the dark saber's right where he left it. They just did that to mess with you.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually backed it up and paused it. It was like, no, that's everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Something was missing.
They did that just to mess with us, man, and they nailed it. They got us. They got us all worked up about something that wasn't anything. And
they did that fantastic trope of the killer just laying out all his weapons. He's pulling out all the weapons.
So
that was a great scene. I love that scene. Yeah. I love the idea of this armored dude with all these weapons has to fly commercial.
Evan, what do you got there?
Just take a Southwest flight.
DLT 19.
Oh yeah.
I took it out of when we trooped. I took it out of the gun case that I was in, so I can put my paladin rifle in there while I was wearing my Senate Guard.
Why don't you sell me that one now that I'm a sand trooper? I super need it.
$1 million.
Yes.
$1 million.
Will you take a post-dated check?
12 shroot bucks.
When Evan told me he had that rifle, he said, I'll sell it to you for some of this. I'm betting now he wished for money instead of some of it.
Oh, by the way, I dropped my paladin rifle at the con and cracked the handle. Yeah, it slipped off my shoulder as I was putting my helmet back on. It went, poof, fell to the ground, cracked it.
How bad?
I mean, it's cracked through it's made out of wood, so like just needs some wood glue and
a screw.
I have that right here.
Oh, Gorilla. That's the good stuff.
Gorilla
next armor party, we'll fix it up.
All right.
We need to schedule one.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, schedule one.
It cost me roughly $1 million, so
very hard to come by.
Yeah, start saving up.
It's imported from Sweden.
I was all like, "Do you have it?" They're like, "Yeah, we got the glue."
Yeah,
the wood glue guy. Yeah.
So do we? Is there anything else about the episodes that stood out that you guys wanted to mention that you like?
Boba riding a Rancor. That's all you need. Like, I mean, come on.
I want an action figure of that.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
An action figure.
Action figure?
No, a box set that has Boba that can ride a Rancor. That would. Oh yeah.
You know the people at Hasbro are kicking themselves for not waiting 6 months to do their Rancor Kickstarter thing.
Oh, they would have.
That failed.
They would have actually probably done it because people would know what the heck a Rancor is.
Well, people know what a Rancor is because it's
Jedi. No,
the people who are going to
spend know what a Rancor is.
Well,
if they don't know what a Rancor is,
$300 on a toy know what a Rancor is.
They don't know what a Rancor is.
You're underestimating the general public. You are underestimating them.
I'm not talking about the general public. I'm talking about the hardcore collectors who are backing the expensive.
Yeah, there weren't enough of them. What I'm saying is that there would have been some ding dongs who didn't know what the heck a Rancor was, but they got all the money to spend on it because they know it's coming from the new Boba Fett series. But most of us hardcore fans can't afford to do a Kickstarter or something like that. But the more people that see it, even if they, if it's not that expensive, you can sell them.
The Razor Crest and the Proton Pack all got well funded.
Yeah.
If they just waited, if someone at Lucasfilm had been like, "Hey,"
and that Razor Crest,
I can't tell you why. Wait till March to put out the Rancor. February.
Can't tell you why.
Just trust me on this. Wait 6 months, you'll have a much better chance. Trust me on this one.
The Razor Crest, though, they've released a few videos, people that have reviewed it. Have y'all seen it yet?
I've seen some pictures online. This thing is massive. It's
You should look
like it would if I had it in my hand, it
oh
would
my
fit in the
gosh.
camera frame.
You need to watch a video. They give you, like, you know how he's got his whole arsenal of guns and everything. Do they not?
Yeah.
They don't give you anything.
Oh, well,
You pay every bit of it.
when you buy it, they every single weapon that you see hung up on that wall, they give it to you individually, and you can go in with like a pair of tweezers and hang them up on the damn thing, and the panels open up and just random stuff. Like there's a panel you can take off and see the inside of one of the turbines or whatever, and it's super cool. And a few people have done reviews, tested, they've done it, and then a couple other places, but yeah, good stuff.
Oh, I just remembered something. I can't take credit for this. Someone much smarter than me came up with this, but I heard it and I have to share it because it was like, oh my god, that's brilliant. Okay, Mando, what kind of ship did Mando get? He got the Naboo starfighter from the Royal Starfighter Corps of Naboo.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Season 2, Mando's ship gets blown up, so he loses the Razor Crest. We haven't seen his big rifle since then either. Presumably, it was on board the ship and got blown up too.
Right.
Episode 5 this season, he loses the spear. His only weapon now is he's got his pistol and he's got the Darksaber. So he's an armored knight with a sword who now has a starfighter, a single-seater, essentially a horse.
Right. So he's riding his steel horse.
Yes, he is literally a knight.
He's a knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
He's a knight in shining armor.
Yep. I see it.
He's no longer a bounty hunter.
No.
He's moved beyond.
No. And even before he
Don Quixote.
before he loses or before he gets kicked out of the Mandalorians, he tells the armorer that he has met a Jedi, and she says, well, then you've completed your training, right? What does she say? She's like, well, then
you've filled your quest.
Yeah. So
experience points.
Yeah. So what is that working towards? Is that working towards being a Mandalorian or working towards being a Jedi? What is she talking about?
I think it was the end of season 1 of the Man. That was the last time we saw her. She basically says, you've been given this child, this foundling. It's your job to return him to his people.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he sees her again,
so that was the quest.
Yeah, he's like, I have finished what I set out to do.
I did it.
Yeah.
God,
yeah. By the way, those
he
people
got busy doing side quests.
The cult of the this is the way. I don't remember what they call themselves. They're a bunch of losers.
Children of the Watch. Yes.
Yeah. Losers.
So you're glad that he's out of the club, huh?
Yeah, they're such buzzkills. Like bring back Bo-Katan and crazy friggin' like just hack and slash, taking their helmets off and slamming drinks in the cantina. I mean, that's so much more fun. Then you got the armor like, did you take your helmet off?
Leave apostate.
Not good. Met you.
Shame.
I fully expected her to try and take the Darksaber.
I honestly thought, I was surprised. Like when he walked out of there with it, I was like, holy crap.
No, it's exactly the same way that Bo wouldn't take it.
I thought like maybe she would fight him for it, and which is kind of interesting to hear her tell that, like, basically she was throwing shade at Bo-Katan. I forget what exactly.
Oh yeah, like their family just fell apart. What a bunch of ding dongs.
Yeah, basically saying like if you didn't win it in combat, then like there'd be a curse and all this kind of stuff. And
right,
it was cool to see the Purge of Mandalore.
That was the bombers. Oh my goodness.
They weren't dropping bombs, they were dropping
Nukes. They were nuking them. You know, I've got one of those upstairs in the attic. I've still got one of those.
I had one when I was a kid.
I ordered it off of eBay when I was like 12. I was like,
my dad ordered me a Blastoise card off of eBay when I was about that same age. It was the first thing I ever got on eBay.
No, the first thing I ever bought was it might have been that one, or it was I bought and I still have it, the Han Solo like frozen in carbonite set. So it's like the little tower and you lower them in, and then there's a carbonite thing that closes over them, and it's got like this stretchy silver silk that goes over top of his action figure, so it looks like he's in carbonate.
That's
and then
so cool.
and it slides back up and it falls over, and it comes with a Bespin guard, and it's pretty sick. I bought that off of, that's all like from the early 2000s, like late 90s stuff. And then I also bought, this is the last thing, also when I was 13, I bought this Indiana Jones hat, and it still fits because I have a very small head. Gotta love eBay. Well, I think that about wraps it up then. I mean, we've talked about the Legion, we've talked about the Book of Boba Fett and how glorious and how disappointed we were, but that's okay because
what wasn't disappointed is just when you like the pieces of it, but when you put it all together, you're like, I don't know if I like this picture.
Yeah. Well,
it's an individual piece on its own.
I loved it, flaws and all.
I loved every bit of it. And like I said, the only flaw I saw was that weird editing when Boba was going to get Cad Bane. Go back and watch that and tell me what you think. Go back and watch it.
The only thing that disappointed me was, like Paul said, not seeing the Tuskens again. But we're gonna see him in like a couple of months with the Kenobi series. So
yeah,
more than likely, yeah.
But I think we're gonna see more Tuskens in the continuation of this Boba Mandalorian Tatooine thing going on, because
we can never get rid of Tatooine. Apparently, we're just always there.
Yeah.
It's the central point of the universe.
It is.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a bright spot in the universe. You're on its heart.
Well said. That was beautiful. Yep. So I guess that about wraps it up for this week. So with the outro music, if you guys want to check us out, as far as the 501st goes, 501st.com, you can, get us to do events and things like that. Also, if you want to see our approval photos, check out the Garrison Tyrannus Instagram page. The podcast you can find on Apple Podcasts, and you can find the YouTube video on YouTube. The video is the best part. Come on.
Yeah,
I talk with my hands a lot. So.
Yeah,
necessary.
So it's yeah. You need his hand signals and all that good stuff. You got to see Wayne's face
and Wayne's face is disapproval.
You gotta, yeah. I'm just.
Here we gotta do a cool thumbnail.
Are we doing it now? All thumbs up. All right, yeah. I'll go find that still and put it as the thumbnail. All right, thank you guys, and as always, till next time. Bye bye.
Au revoir.
Oh.